I'm just sitting up here doing dishes, and I was thinking about kind of pressure and flow and how things have become, we're finally at a point where I believe that it can be something. I mean, quite frankly, I was asked yesterday from one of my teammates, hey, you guys should launch off into a podcast. And I said, yeah, I think a podcast is in our future, but quite honestly, man, we're looking for a lane that we can occupy that's been very defined, because what I don't want to do, and I feel like we did pretty intentionally when we initially launched Pressure and Flow, is to focus on a niche that we can be consistent with. And I love my business partner and my best friend, my training partner, my frat brother, Dennis, for his personality, because he was very much like, look, man, if we're gonna do this, I want to be consistent. And so that's probably the first thing that he and I were in agreement on, is we wanted our content, we wanted everything that we're doing to be such that no matter what it is, whether we feel like it or not, we can be consistent with it because it's something we're passionate about. So we've been very slow in rolling out our strategy. Quite honestly, we're still figuring out what our strategy is. We're still building it out. We're still trying to figure out what our lane is, but I think we've honed in on a couple of concepts that we've been testing and learning. But that's what's interesting about this whole social media thing, and trying to mirror your interests and marry that with what you're passionate about, things that are relevant, things that add value to people, and ultimately things that, if that's your desire, that can sustain you, financially. So we're really in the space of discovery and trying to figure all that out. Now, we have our bread and butter, but it's that, what's the next iteration of that? How do we think about or continue to formulate a strategy that is cohesive, that's clear, that people understand our message, and they can guide us in that way. So I've been trying to be more focused and intentional about sharing my thoughts in the moment as they come. And so maybe I should ask my community here, when you're working to create a lane for yourself, whether that be in your career or that be in social media or your business interests, what things do you consider? What do you factor in? How do you ensure that you are clear on how you're pursuing, what you're pursuing, and how to go about it from a strategy standpoint? I obviously have my thoughts, but I'm curious what other people think. And it's Friday, depending on when you look at this. I'm recording this on a Friday, so it's pretty light day. Taking a break from work. I'm clearly not in work attire, but I was doing the dishes, and I figured I would turn the camera on and just start sharing some general thoughts. Generally don't do this very much, but wanted to try something a bit different. Anyway, share your thoughts in the comments. Where's that? Comments, either up or below. And let me know, how do you go about pursuing passions? What do you consider? What do you factor in? And how do you put a strategy together in order for those things to come to pass? Or if you also have the same question, like, tag, follow, because all the feedback that I get, I'll be coming back to this post and either dropping a comment to share what I learned, or maybe create a follow-up post. But all right, well, dishes are done. About to transition to a few other things on my to-do list before the next meeting. We'll check in with you later. Cool, peace.